Did you know that despite the test optional trend, a massive study by the University of Chicago found that students who submitted standardized test scores were significantly more likely to be admitted to selective colleges than those who didn't? Furthermore, recent updates for 2025 suggest the biggest shakeup in decades. The daunting science section is actually becoming optional in the digital format. If you are an NRI parent in the US or Canada, this changes everything. Should your child skip science? Does a 34 on ACT guarantee admission to Ivy League? And how does the digital ACT in Canada differ from paper ACT in the US? So hi, I'm Gurpreet from Wizdomi. So here we specialize in personalized one-on-one live tuition for K-12 and competitive exams. So today we are doing a deep dive into the ACT test. I have combed through the latest 2025 policy documents so that you don't have to. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear roadmap to navigate this exam. Firstly, what exactly is ACT? Well, it stands for American College Testing. Unlike the SAT, which was historically seen as an aptitude or IQ style test, ACT was designed as an achievement test. It measures what your child has actually learned in high school. It's conducted by ACT, a non-profit organization. It's used primarily for undergraduate admissions in US. However, it is also widely accepted by over 200 universities outside the US, including major institutions in Canada, UK, and Singapore. Scores are valid for 5 years. This means that your child can take it in grade 10, though most wait until grade 11. Now here is where the 2025 updates get interesting. Traditionally, the ACT had 4 compulsory sections, but starting with the new digital ACT pilots and full rollout, the science section is actually becoming optional in many formats. Let's look at the structure. The core test now focuses on English, math, and reading. The duration is approximately 2 hours, reduced from 3 hours if you skip optional sections. The questions entirely multiple choice. There are 50 questions in English, 45 in math, and 36 in reading. The optional science section has 40 questions involving data interpretation. And there's also an optional writing section. Now each section is scored from 1 to 36. Your final score is the average of these. The national average is usually around 21. For top tier universities, you are looking for a 32 or higher. Now who can take it? Well, there's no official age limit, but it's designed for students in grades 11 and 12. So you must register online at act.org. For the mode of exam, in the US, students can increasingly choose between a digital test or the traditional paper test. In Canada and other international locations, it is exclusively computer-based. You cannot take it on paper outside the US. And if I talk about fees, so US students pay approximately $68. International students, including those in Canada, pay approximately $176. And the warning? Well, there are additional fees for the late registration or date changes, so book early. Now, how do you prep for this? Well, we recommend 3 to 4 months of dedicated study. The official ACT prep guide is your best resource. And the techniques, pacing is the key. The ACT is faster paced than the SAT. You have less time per question. Also, the science section is really about data interpretation. You don't need to memorize the periodic table. You need to know how to read a graph quickly. The common mistake is that focusing only on hard questions. Now, in ACT, easy questions are worth the same points. So don't waste 5 minutes on one hard math problem and miss 5 easy ones at the end. On exam day, it would be great if you arrive by 8 a.m. A valid passport is also mandatory for international students. US students can use a school ID. Prohibited items include smartwatches and fitness bands. Now, multiple choice scores usually arrive in 10 to 14 days. Writing scores take an extra 2 weeks, and you can retake the ACT up to 12 times, but we don't recommend that. ACT also allows super scoring, meaning you can combine your best section scores from different test dates. Now for our Wizdomi families, here is the crucial regional breakdown. In the USA, ACT is universally accepted and critical for merit scholarships. In Canada, most universities do not require ACT for Canadian high school graduates, but they do require it for US curriculum students. Now, if I talk about the visa impact, the ACT itself is not a visa requirement. You need admission to get the visa. And for the Canadian SDS visa, you still need a language test like IELTS or PTE. The ACT does not replace that. Now let's wrap up with the top 5 questions that we get at Wizdomi. Is the writing section required? For 99% of colleges, the answer is no. Is ACT easier than SAT? The ACT math is generally more straightforward, but time pressure is quite higher. Should I submit my scores if the school is test optional? So research shows that if your score is at or above the school's median, then submit it because it validates your GPA. Can I use calculator for the whole math section? Yes, you can. How do I send scores to colleges? So for that, you get 4 free score reports when you register. So the ACT is a race against the clock, but with the right strategy. It's a race that you can win. So whether you're aiming for a scholarship in US or a competitive seat in Canada, Wizdomi's one-on-one tutors are here to help you crack that 30 plus score. You need to check the description for links to the official ACT guide and the research that we mentioned. So I'm Gurpreet, helping you navigate the path to higher education, and see you in my next video.